So much like we do most of the times before we start this, I showed you a little bit of a Premier League clip,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because for some reason I've just become enamored with a league. Yeah, well, have been for a long time enamored by a league from the other side of the world that has like very little to do with like my personality or like my area, but for some reason I just
Dude, I grew up a Green Bay fan. Like,
see, but at least
there's
it's
no
football,
judgment,
dude. Like, that's like straight American football. Like that makes sense.
in New Mexico.
Yeah, but yeah, but,
Don't know how the we got 2 Green Bay fans in one household to raise a bunch of other Green Bay fans.
See, but like it's different because like at Thanksgiving, it's like let's go through the old pigskin. You know what I mean? Like the
We never did that during my Thanksgiving.
Oh, okay, sorry, I forgot you had the most depressing life that's ever been told.
I hide nothing. Holidays have never been a big thing for me. I hate all holidays.
You got to make up your own holiday. And then, like, just have a really good time during
Richard's Giving.
Exactly. Richard's Giving. What would that? How would you celebrate a Richard's Giving?
A lot of beer, a lot of whiskey. So we're already on par with the rest of the holidays.
Yeah.
Just no family other than the ones that I like.
Yeah. Just yourself is what you're saying.
Just
you
chilling in the living room
in a robe.
Yep. I don't like watching sports either, so
yeah.
We watch scary movies.
So you don't like sports because they make you angry, or
a little bit of that, mostly football with that, just because I can get too into it. I know too much about the game.
Yeah,
and
because you played it,
right? And I just, it's not my thing anymore. Soccer I can kind of watch a little bit,
the highlights.
Yeah. Like, and I can get excited about that.
I couldn't imagine you becoming like a fan of the Premier League or something. No. Yeah, I feel like you would be just.
Well, you had those hopes for me with being a wrestling fan.
Yeah, sure did.
And that petered out very quickly.
A little bit.
Like I still enjoy. I understand the craft of American wrestling, specifically the WWE,
because it's theater.
You're right. It's theater. It's intricate and it's entertaining.
Yeah,
I appreciate that, but
it's all facial expressions.
And I don't know, just getting into it, following it, I have very little
time.
Or
it's okay to say time.
Care, give a shit.
Okay.
I just don't really give a shit a lot of the time.
That's all right. Yeah. Welcome to the world's most depressing pod. We're your hosts. No, but it's and I kind of envy that because I, for one, just sometimes I let that thing just take over my life. Not even wrestling alone, like
wrestling,
Premier League, yeah,
soccer, football, all of it.
There was a time when I was waking up at 5 a.m, like just Saturday morning, 5 a.m, sitting in my living room. You know what I mean? And like, what's funny is that they run an ad during the thing where it's like there's a time when people are lost in their dreams and you're actually seeing dreams come true. And it's like soccer,
right? Go,
yeah, become a fan of the Premier League. And I watch it, and I'm not gonna. I'm like, this makes me better than other people. This is about as fine etiquette as I will ever be. Is my love for English Premier League, and
I get that.
Liking Doctor Who. That's it. Like, it's those two things. I don't know. British humor and British things have always just I've just navigated towards them my whole life. I don't know why. It's just like
one of those inherent things that. Yeah. I don't know. Again, I give very little of a shit unless it's like my job, and then I'm full on the entire way.
Yeah.
Which brings me kind of into like formal dining, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like you say, the Premier League is like your pinnacle of formality, and
it's about as far as I'm gonna get when it comes to being any.
So do you have any like good stories when it comes to fine dining?
I tried to learn it when I was younger.
Yeah,
early 20s. I looked up like YouTube videos, right? Of like.
So early 20s, you were at what, like Rue 21, or you were?
No, I was that was like 15.
Oh no, you're right. That was far on.
I was working at a gas station. Learning,
I worked at the same gas station. There's
fine
nothing wrong with
etiquette,
that. Fine etiquette at the gas station.
That one day, when
the neighborhood gas station.
When I would sit down to eat my beef jerky and sour cream and onion chips.
You bring out a salad fork for the Slim Jim because it's the precursor.
Someone walks in. What is going on back there? I'm in the middle of the fight. I have a lit candle.
I'm in my lunch. All right.
A little napkin on my thigh. No, but that's like one of the things I learned, right? Was napkin goes on your thigh, right? It's off the table.
It's always on your lap, yeah.
So that people don't see that, like what
they don't see your dirty ass napkin on the table. Yeah,
because you know me. When I'm getting in that.
Well, I think a lot of it is also like, at least for me, the sanitation of the table they're in.
Ah, okay.
So
no, that makes sense. Yeah.
So like napkin stays right here.
Here I always thought
at least I know where this has been. I don't know where the table has been.
And here it's always because I thought it was like I'm equivalent to a pig trough whenever it comes to lunchtime. It's just
hey, at least you didn't tuck it into your shirt. You know that's something.
Is that not fine etiquette?
Nope.
Really?
Nope. A bib is provided if it's like lobster or crab or something that's gonna drip.
That's really funny. The idea of a bunch of like well-to-do men wearing bibs.
Not normal.
Sitting
not
at a dining room table
etiquette.
all wearing bibs.
Because in fine etiquette, you're supposed to bring the food to you, not you to the food.
You're not supposed to lean in, right?
Exactly.
I was taught that. I was taught by my grandmother, elbows on the table. You're not allowed to,
no go. And see, that's one that I still break inadvertently because my grandpa, who like was my main father figure, like my father was present, but he didn't know tableside dining at all.
Sure.
So he would have his elbows on the table all the time. My father, not my grandfather. So I would have to like fix myself in the middle
of your dining experience.
At least several times because you're not supposed to have your elbows on the table.
Is that what they're teaching you at that sissy boy school you was? Yeah. No, that was the thing.
But my grandfather was military. My father was not.
Okay.
Like he grew up with a military father, but he was not military himself.
So he was probably taught, like the military side was probably taught.
Bare minimum.
Like, hey, don't put your elbows on the table. It's gross.
Sorry.
See, that's crazy. So you put your forearms. I didn't even think that's like quite the runaround. Because
it's a loophole.
Yeah, dude. I'd like sit there with my hands on my sides.
Yeah.
And then like only go eat.
But I always want to be involved as well. Like when I'm at the table, I want to be involved. And you're not supposed to lean over your food.
Yeah.
It comes to you, not you to the food.
I don't know what you're talking about. I put my face straight in it. I put the plate.
Well, he really likes this food.
The stuffing's amazing.
He's
as I'm
we have a happy customer
as
here.
I'm spitting stuffing out. Yeah.
Wait, that's fine dining.
Wait, so you work at kind of like a fine dining establishment, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
what qualifies for one around here?
Do you like look down on people who don't like fine dine at your fine dining establishment?
No, not at all. Because I grew up that way. Like I understand, like the simple basics. Like you put your napkin on your lap.
Right. Don't put your elbows on the table.
Yeah, that's
don't talk with
for
your
me.
mouth full.
Don't talk. Oh, that pisses me off to no end.
Yeah. Play with your food. Don't play with your food.
Don't play with your food. Don't talk with your mouth full. That is like numero uno. Why? What? I don't want to.
Yeah.
So what did you think about the game today, man? That was a banger, right?
Our listeners are like quivering in their seats. Right
Good. Now you see what I have to deal with every time I sit down with people.
No, see, but like I always wonder, like, because I for one, whenever I have to, like take my fiance out on dates and stuff, like we go to like the finer establishments.
Yeah,
or
you want to treat her,
and I always feel judged because like I don't know what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like for me, if there's more like than 5 forks on the table, I'm freaking out.
That's terrible. There should be okay, for those at home, the normal dinner placement is salad fork, dinner fork, bread plate, napkin on top of the bread plate, butter knife, and then teaspoon and then soup spoon. That's how the layout should go. And then you have your wine glass for sampling the wine.
Yeah.
And you have your water glass on your left side.
So what you're telling me...
water glass on the right side, wine glass on the left side because you always serve from the left and pull from the right.
So what you're telling me is that whenever I pull out my rusty old fork at the dinner table out of my pocket,
This is my eating fork.
this is my dining sock.
You know what, dude? You do what you want here.
Let me hit this intro.
The Southwest has been home to the most infamous outlaws, from Billy the Kid to Neil Patrick Harris. Safe to say, legends have wandered these deserts. And if you listen closely, you can almost hear the wind whisper their story over this barren land. Well, these two gunslingers, they have their own story to tell. They're shooting from the hip.
I remember eating dinner at my grandma's house one time, and my brothers used to like to mess with my uncle a lot. And there's
Which grandma was this? Was this
Nebraska.
okay?
Yeah, this is the Nebraskan grandma.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Just sweetest woman you'll ever meet. She was
Loves
such a
corn.
kind soul. Yeah. God rest her soul. Yeah, just corn.
Loves corn and the Huskers.
Yeah,
and
corn.
That's it.
It's just corn. Yeah, go over to the house. What are you having for dinner? Corn. Yeah, I love corn. You can do a lot of things with corn.
Yeah,
You know,
we
make
got cream corn. We got corn on the cob.
corn
we got
casserole. No,
scallop corn. You ever tried scallop corn?
Yeah,
That's some
so-
white people shit right there.
we were eating our corn casserole, and my brothers used to like to mess with my uncle a lot. And so we're sitting at the dining room table, and they would like egg him on, right? Because like they knew how to get under his skin.
Mm-hmm.
And one time, my brother, when she turned around, my brother like threw a roll at him from the side of the table, and so my uncle decided to like chuck a piece of food back at him, and she turned.
Food fight.
Yeah. Well, she turned around and caught like this dude chucking, Wah.
So it's all your uncle's fault.
Exactly. Jay.
How dare you?
He went.
This is a nice family dinner right here.
Yeah, and he went. He started, and like she was like, "You're an adult," And my brother's just the just snively little, runts, just messing with him the entire, like going underneath the table and like. One time, I'm pretty sure they got in cahoots and they just took a shoe off him like while they were eating. like my brother was like he like dropped.
Why am I missing a shoe?
He dropped his fork and like went under the table and like came back and like as we're eating, my uncle was like, and like my brother just kind of like went like this from like he like pulled the shoe out and like put it back under the table and I was like, yeah.
Oh God,
you
people are evil.
But they like she saw us and she was like, oh, these are just sweet little boys.
No, I would have gone by ass beat 10 ways to Sunday, dude.
Yeah, no. It was we were there was no wrongdoing on our end. We were the sweetest little angels, and we just we came to grandma's house, so she was always super kind.
So who's the oldest? Remind me of you and your brothers.
That would be Oscar.
Okay, see.
Yeah.
I was always the oldest. So how did Oscar's role differ? Did he play a part in it?
During the dinner thing?
Mhm.
Yeah. He was the one who masterminded the plan.
Oh,
Yeah.
good
Well,
big
no,
brother, because I was the one stepping in and be like, no.
I don't know though. Like, that's the thing.
You better cut your shit.
I don't
or
know
else
if-
we're all gonna get our asses beat.
I don't know if he was the mastermind or if Ricardo, the middle one, was the mastermind. Because
It seems like Ricardo was the mastermind.
yeah, he's a smart little guy.
Oscar's smart. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but
Ricardo's-
Ricardo seems like the
He's a
one.
little evil. But yeah, it was nuts, man. Because I mean, growing up with two older brothers,
Mhm.
and especially them not being like the shining examples of what two older brothers should be.
Mhm.
It was always funny to me because, again, my uncle was just tormented on like he would go to my grandmother's house on vacation. That's like that was a vacation, and he's gonna spend the week with like two kids who are just constantly trying to
Terrible.
like terrorize him. You know what I mean? Like literally always like at it like anything they could do. Like one time, I guess they like took all the pillows off the couch that he was gonna sit at. and they like made like a fort out of it. And he was like he wanted to sit on the couch, and he was like, "Can I get the pillows?" And they were like, "No." And he went to like grab
this
one.
is our fort.
Yeah, he went to grab one, and my grandma was like,
That's domestic militarism.
But yeah, back to fine dining and etiquette. Like I said, I always find more than a few utensils a little scary, because like I'm not a savage, right? Like if I have if I have like if I have a steak with a fork, I'm not going to use that fork to eat dessert, right? Like I always want a fresh utensil for dessert.
Right.
That didn't come from my dad, because that dude would just use he would be like
that'll be fine.
The old suck.
It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, he would like chow down into like some broccoli, cheese, mash, and then he'd turn around and be like, glass of milk on the side. And grossest dining experience.
Okay, I did grow up with, like, not always me, but at least always my dad always had to have a glass not just milk
at dinner.
Not just glass of milk, chocolate milk.
Oh, okay.
His was always chocolate milk.
It's good for the
Served
bones.
from the left.
At least what I've heard. From the left, yeah. There was still that.
He was very specific.
He definitely did. He definitely wasn't using elbows at the table at that time. No.
Hell no. I find that interesting that you brought up the utensil thing, though, because I grew up the way I have always been. Food can't touch. Like, it can touch, but it can't like intermingle.
Oh, that's crazy.
Like, courses had to be separate courses unless I decided they were combined courses. Like,
so this was a personal experience.
This was me.
What?
Like, beets, don't even put it on the same plate as everything else.
Whoa, hold on.
The white people shit. Beets.
What?
Pickled beets.
For Thanksgiving dinner?
Yeah.
You're saying this like it's a normal thing.
Yeah, that is a normal thing.
No, you made fun of corn. Like, just
I did not make fun of
Okay,
corn. I made fun of the state of Nebraska for corn.
Okay, you talked about corn, and now you're over here selling pickled beets.
I'm not selling pickled
We're not
beets.
going
Leave
over
that
this.
shit off the plate.
Okay.
Is my
Did
my
you
point.
eat the pickled beets?
Well, yes, but on a separate plate. Have you ever tried pickled beets, Juan?
I'm not going to.
Please try it.
No, dude, that's
Try pickled beets.
You might as well just like have told
They're
me
good.
like there's
They're good.
yes, my grandmother's cow shit casserole.
It's pickled beets. It's not even that bad.
That's nasty.
But okay, yes, if it's on the plate, yes, because I don't want pink mashed potatoes. But I do want my pickled beets on the side.
We are so different in this regard. First off, the touching of the food, never minded it.
No?
For me, a loaded up plate.
Like, a little touching is fine,
Dog.
but I can't let it intermingle.
Nah,
it has
man.
to be separate courses or separate sides in the course.
Yeah, no, if I don't have enough room on the plate for like mash, it's
You're just throwing it all over.
It's going on top of the ham.
You are a heathen, sir.
Okay. Pickled beets eater.
On the side. On the side.
The pickled beets eater wants to call
Pickled
me.
eats beater? Is that what you're going to say?
No, dude, that's me, bro. Like if I'm at Thanksgiving and
You are a heathen, sir.
like here, I'll give you a nightmare for later tonight. At this last Thanksgiving, they had little beanie weenies, the barbecued. So it's like little weenies that they put in barbecue sauce.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have enough room on the plate, so I just tossed those on the deviled eggs.
Kielbasa, I think, is just what we always call that.
I just chucked them on the deviled eggs.
Oh,
Yeah, and I ate them with my hands.
I am disgusted right
Yeah.
now.
Sometimes
I don't know if I can finish this podcast.
Sometimes I get a little bit of mashed potatoes.
Just all in your hand.
on
Just
one
a
of the
nice
fingers.
little.
You know what I mean? You're going in for a deviled egg, and you dip a pinky in the mash. Yeah, I do that all the time.
I can't do deviled eggs anymore either, though.
Really?
That's the issue.
Why?
I got sick of them when I was young and can't do them anymore.
What did they do to you?
They just
You got like stomach sick.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought they like took your pension or something.
Yeah, that's what it was. They took my 401k. I just can't. I can't subsidize that. I can't pay for those.
Yeah, but I mean, and maybe that's my issue with fine dining is that like, I'm a messy eater. Not like per se. Like I'm not like throwing food everywhere. You know what I mean?
It's like a cartoon,
Yeah.
and you just and it's all flying
No,
everywhere.
you come over to my house for dinner, and I'm sitting in a high chair.
More mashed taters.
It's Juan's special seat. It's my rusty fork. Old Bill.
Oh, Old Bill, you named it. That's awesome. That's fine dining at its definition.
Me and
right
Old
there.
Bill are about to tear through these rolls, dog. No, so tell me more about fine dining. Like, what's something else? So, like, okay, let's say a very classy family walks into your establishment, sits down at a round table, and you can tell these guys are like, high class.
Well, like maybe not their high class, but that this is like they want a high class meal. You can always tell.
They got a 15-year-old wearing a polo shirt. You
Oh,
know
okay.
what I mean?
Yeah. It's done at that
Yeah.
point. I've already earned my tip.
Yeah.
No, when it comes, so one rule that a lot of people don't realize when it comes to fine dining is cold, hot, cold, hot. Like that's how you're supposed to deliver.
Oh, the food.
Yes.
Okay.
So salads is usually first.
Right.
Then you get a soup. Then you get a palate cleanser, which is also cold after that. And then you get your main dining dish.
Okay, wait. You lost me at palate cleanser because I know
Well,
soup and
usually-
salad, but what is the palate cleanser?
Usually sorbet.
Okay, I thought you just like walked up and sprayed their mouths.
Just a little.
No, you
No,
got
you're good. You're good for the next one.
You got like the kitchen hose thing.
So hold on. Open your mouth. Open your mouth. Oh.
Thank you, sir. Where's the spit bucket?
There's no spit bucket.
Oh yeah, no, they just do it on the ground. Is that what they did?
Just here. I just hold out my hands
Please,
for
sir.
him. No, but
Quite the fine dining establishment.
no. Usually you would get a palate cleanser in between.
So what is that? What's a palate cleanser?
Usually sorbet. So it's like
Like an ice cream?
like ice-based ice cream,
Oh.
not cream-based ice cream.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
That's usually the palate cleanser, and then you would get the main dish, and then you would get a dessert.
Dang.
Yeah.
How do rich people eat so much, bro?
Well, it's all very small portions.
I was gonna say,
it's
'cause
not
I-
like
I'd be done after the soup. Personally. I'd eat the salad, eat the soup, and be like, I think.
yeah, you get like a very small salad, a very small soup, and then your palate cleanser, which is also very small, which you're expected to share with the entire table,
Oh.
and then you get your entree.
Okay. See, I thought you were just serving people like ice in the middle. Each. Like,
Here's a block of ice. Sprint your palate, dick.
or would you rather go with the spray?
I got the spray too. Boom, you're done.
This is so interesting. So wait, so at a fine dining establishment, because I mean, like you go to a restaurant here or whatever, you beforehand, or not even beforehand, they usually bring like bread. or,
Oh,
like-
bread is included as
Okay,
well.
it is. Okay, I've always wondered.
Okay, so in ideally in a fine dining restaurant, your busser would get you your water for the table.
Oh, okay.
So then you get the bread basket, and that's when you greet the table. Like the busser hands the water, hello, this, and your server is going to be Richard. He'll be right with you. And then you as the server bring the bread and introduce yourself to the table
Okay.
and get the drink orders, maybe the appetizer orders if they're ready for that. Generally speaking, you're just getting drinks at that point.
Okay, so the bread is the introductory.
Right.
Okay.
Like it's just so you have something.
Okay.
You always want your guest's mouth filled.
Yeah.
You don't want their mouth empty at any point because then they can say things.
Hey, buddy. Let me tell you, I can make that happen.
No, bad one.
Walking up to a table. By God, he doesn't have pants on.
Well,
By Jolly, he doesn't have pants
this is your hors d'oeuvre.
on. Your palate cleanser.
God, I am fired. I am fired.
No one there listens to this shit. Yeah. So continue. So now we're at what part of the meal?
Oh, okay. So,
So
you
you-
drop the bread basket.
Palate cleanser's done.
No.
Okay.
No. We're not even close.
Whoa.
Ideally, this is like a 2-hour experience you're signing up for.
Crazy. Okay.
Ideally, 1 to 2 hours, depending on how many people.
Yeah.
So you drop the bread basket off. You get the drink orders. Hopefully, sell a bottle of wine.
Oh, because that's where you
or-
make the money.
Ideally,
Yeah.
cocktails will help as well. I usually like to push them towards the cocktail and then a bottle of wine with the entree because when they order the 14-ounce ribeye or whatever, Well, that pairs very well with the Gato Negro Malbec that we carry.
Okay. So I have heard. Okay, so the reason I wanted to bring up fine dining is because I watched a YouTube video where this guy kind of like talked about wine, and this is interesting. Now that you've brought this up, this is interesting to me. He essentially said wine pairings are bullshit, and that like 90% of the time it's just like personal preference. Right?
Yeah. So
because like it's essentially
people at
like,
home can't see my face, but I did a and a little bit of a wavy
because
of the
it's
hand.
essentially like selling a door to a person who already has a door, right? Like if you walk up to the person and you're like fancy enough about like what you're introducing them to, chances are they're gonna buy it, right?
Can be. It really depends. You have to read your table.
Do you ever just bullshit it? Do you ever just go like, what
I
pairs
don't-
well with
okay.
the mashed potato steak?
Okay, I never fully bullshit it.
Yeah.
There's parts where I do have to finagle, is how I describe it. But it's always based in some kind of knowledge that I actually do have. So
Okay.
if you're getting a steak, any red is really going to be okay. Then you can kind of gauge the people if they want Pinot Noir, which is less body, but a decent amount of flavor.
And I heard that the name of like the Pinot Noir, it's the grapes, right? That's like the
Correct.
Yeah.
Same with Cabernet Sauvignon, same with Malbec. It's all a different grape. I know at least the bare basics where I can finagle my way into selling a bottle of wine. I am not a sommelier. I do not know wine by any stretch of the imagination.
I've heard that's bullshit. I've heard sommeliers.
It's not
bullshit.
complete bullshit. It's
Really?
because like
a guy who grabs like a thing and goes.
Well, no, he's like no.
It's
You
got
kind of get that.
excellent legs. Yeah.
Well, legs are a thing, but by and large, it is It's not bullshit. It's somewhat educated and then sold to you by people who aren't as educated.
Okay. So it's an educated guess.
Essentially, you're getting like the full ins and outs here on Shooting from the Hip
Take
podcast.
notes,
By the
boys.
way,
Take notes.
really, because any good server is not going to sell you the most expensive bottle of wine.
They usually sell you the second most expensive one, right? Or second,
I read
second
the table.
cheapest one.
Yeah, I read the table.
Okay.
I can kind of see what the means are going to be.
Yeah, if you
And
walk up and the dude has a monocle, big top.
Well,
hat.
then, dude, I'm selling our top bottle. I don't give a shit. But if you read the table and it's just like a nice, like a younger couple out on what they want to be a very nice romantic date,
Yeah.
then I'm going to cater to that.
You're not trying to
I'm
like,
going to sell
break
them
the dude's bank.
exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe a $40 bottle of wine instead of a $60 to $70 bottle of wine.
What a nice dude. Wow.
I also need the tip, dude.
Yeah,
Like, that's the biggest thing. Is yes, I care about my guests and their experience. That's what makes me one of the best.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I need my dough
Yeah,
too.
You're gonna
All
break
right.
your bank, boy.
But no, like let's say it's a nice, like let's say you and your fiance come out.
Sure.
I know she has a penchant for whites.
Mm-hmm.
That's just off of my knowledge of her already.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to sell her a nice bottle of Moscato or a nice bottle of Riesling, which you're going to pay for, but I'm selling it to her.
But what about me, man? I love a good Cab Sanj.
Well, then I'll sell that to you by the glass.
But
I'm
you're
trying-
gonna get her a bottle of white because she
Yeah.
can package that home.
You can always bag it and take it home with you.
Okay. Smart dude. Yeah, see, because like you got to think, man. You can't forget about the guy in the situation.
No, you
right?
can't.
What about me, man? You know.
I'm actually, because you're a gin drinker, so I'm actually selling you a martini first off. Like that's
Oh.
your first drink is going to be a Bombay Sapphire martini, lemon twist and over olive because you're
Do you-
more
do you
you
ever-
need citrus
Do you ever like run into people who like do the shake and not stirred thing from James Bond?
all the time, and it's not funny.
Don't say that, dude. They're listening.
Sorry, it's not funny.
All of your patrons for some reason are fans.
Actually,
of this podcast.
right. Actually, I would actually one up you because if you want to do the James Bond version of the martini, he orders a Vesper martini, which
dry,
is
right?
which is equal parts vodka and gin, lemon twist, very dry, which means you do a vermouth rinse, not
So the glass gets rinsed by vermouth, or
and then you toss it out. So you just have the essence of the vermouth because it's very overpowering, especially when it's not stored the right way, which at most establishments it's not.
so how long does it take to make a drink like that?
2 minutes, maybe.
Really?
It depends on
That
how
sounds
many
like
drinks you're making.
That sounds like such an intense, like,
No, it takes like 2 minutes.
that's wild.
Like, no, ideally you already have the martini glass chilled, right? Then you toss in your little bit of vermouth, do the rinse, toss it out.
You got it.
Then you build the rest of
it's
your
listening
drink.
to reggae music.
Totally.
Yeah.
And then you build the rest of your drink.
All right, guys, it's
shake
time to
that
be
right
drink.
quick, strain it, and it's 2 minutes.
That's
baby.
it?
It depends on how many drinks you're making, but yes.
See, because it seems like bartending. I mean, personally, I've always looked at bartenders. I'm like, how do they do that? Because, like, one, I couldn't imagine having a bar
Lot of
full of patrons.
multitasking.
Yeah, to me, that seems like just the worst thing in the world. Just to say, like,
I hear that ticket machine in my dreams, by the by.
oh, you have the
Every
machine. Like,
server bartender always hears the receipt. God damn it.
yeah.
So, and you need a strawberry daiquiri on top of the 12 drinks you already ordered. Awesome.
What's your favorite? Like, if it says Jack and Coke on it? Is
Oh, that's
you're
easy.
Like, oh, thank God.
Or pour in a glass of cab.
Yeah,
Boom. Easy.
that's nice.
You always take care of the red wine first because you want that to breathe before you start on the other drinks.
You doing okay over there?
Yeah, he's doing good. he's going to taste delightful here in 2 minutes.
Okay, so you're back at the table, and you have again top hat,
Monocle.
monocle. He's got a
I'm
big.
selling that duck horn.
He's got a
decoy.
big chain that's a cash sign.
Yeah.
He's essentially Scrooge McDuck, right?
Oh,
It's-
actually, I'm going to push that Dom Perignon on. You know that's discontinued now?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
That's champagne, right?
That is champagne.
Yeah. See, that's
And-
something else I learned from that video.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a brute.
Is that the name? That's the name of the guy who made champagne or who invented champagne. I think.
I don't think that's right.
No, it is.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so. Because I think he's the one who okay, so I'm about, dude. Hold
Blow
on.
my mind.
All right.
Blow my mind, Juan.
So, I mean, you know the reason why champagne is called champagne
Is it's
because
from the French region
of
of
Champagne,
Champagne.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so apparently back in the day there was like an issue where these people were like storing wine in their cellars and they would explode, right? And it's because I guess in that region
They
the
weren't using
seasons-
the right quart. Oh.
the seasons pass like super quickly, so like the fermentation process or something never like
What's
worked
probably
out
it's
correctly.
probably like the sea level.
Yeah.
All that.
And so it was tearing up like their whole cellar. Like one would explode, and therefore like 8 more would be like, I guess we're doing this too, Bah, you know. And so they tasked this dude with like, hey man, what do we do, you know? And he was like, well, I'm a monk. I don't really do anything else, right? So they're called saints or priests or whatever.
Okay.
And he
in France, there's probably saints.
Yeah.
But yeah.
so he's like, you know, they task him. They're like, boobala poo, babala ke, you know, someone's language.
We're just insulting everybody.
And they ask this dude, hey, could you figure this out? So I think he starts with like, it's like he like young grapes or something, like grapes that are first off the vine or some shit, and it doesn't work. And he tries like he goes through like a Mythbusters like task like kind of thing, you know, where he's like, oh,
Let's put a pin in that.
what if we like try this? And then it's like, no, it doesn't work. You know, the bottles are just like flipping them off the whole time. And he's like, what do I do? You know? And so he goes to England and he talks to like the beer people and he's like, yo, what do you do to get your fizzy fucking drinks, my guy? You know? And they're like, yeah, so what, you know? And so they're like, they tell him, I think it's like,
Does it have to do with the bottle shape and the cork?
yeah, I think that's what it is. And so, yeah, it's the cork. So they use a cork to, you know, release the pressure when they open the bottle.
Right, but it contains that essentially. So
Yeah.
like if you've ever seen a wine cork, it's cylindrical.
Yeah.
But if you ever looked at a champagne
It's like
cork, there's a big bulb at the top and
Yeah.
then it tapers down into a cylindrical shape
Yeah.
at the bottom.
And I'm pretty sure that's what they said. They're like, oh, it's the cork, dude. You're using the wrong kind of cork. And he's like, oh, you know, and he goes back.
Well, yeah, that makes sense with any pressure if you're just dealing with a
Yeah,
cylindrical
bro,
cork.
this is like the 1700s. Science doesn't like.
That's true.
1400s, you know, whatever. Like it's
we
back in
know
the-
as much
yeah.
as we know, and that's it.
Yeah, they're still like looking at the sun, being like, What is that? You know what I mean? So
That's the center of our universe. Or
it's angry at us
I don't
today.
know if that's the center of our universe.
That's why the clouds are out. We have to sacrifice someone. Bring your kids.
Okay, 1700s is probably a little too late for that to be happening, but I see what you're coming from.
It's France.
It's France. No one gives a shit.
So they so he goes back and he I guess he goes back to France and he's like, yo, I figured it out. It's the cork. And everyone's like, oh, thank God you've saved all our lives because this is all we drink. And so he's like, yeah, great. So they figure it out. But the issue is that the it settles, like the fermentation settles at the cork instead of the bottom of the bottle.
That makes sense.
Because of the way that they have it like placed or something. Because that's the other thing. You have to they had to turn it at like a 90-degree angle for fermentation so that everything would go towards the cork instead of sitting at the bottom of the bottle. So,
which makes sense. Yeah. Well, you also have to keep the cork moisturized.
Yeah.
Or else it's going to dry out and that's going to fuck up your wine.
So then there's this lady, right? So then he's like, we got to figure out how to not do this anymore because it's gross. Like we open these bottles and there's literally shit.
Yeah, there's
bacteria at the start of our drink.
Yes,
like,
there is because it's dead yeast.
Yeah.
We talked about this in a previous episode.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
I think we have.
Yeah, it's dead yeast.
But the other thing is they're like, we want it's like it. We want it to look clear because it's champagne or whatever. You
You want it to look good because you don't want little pieces of shit.
Yeah, which is the issue they had. It looked like actual,
bubbling up.
It looked like dookie in the bottom of the glass anytime they pour it. So they're like, ew, no one wants to drink that. So he's like, I got an idea. And he dies. So then this lady comes in and she's like, yo, I have an idea also. What if we just turn the bottles? Like every couple of days. And then the fermentation like sits at the bottom of it, right?
Well, it disperses.
Yeah. So then it turns crystal clear.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh wow, it's clear now. And everyone celebrated and they all drank champagne into the middle of the night. And there you go.
Yeah.
That's champagne, dude.
Dude, good history
Honestly,
lesson.
right?
Thanks, man. I did not realize that. I like that.
Yeah. Sorry to the French.
Sorry, French people. We are very uneducated and for some reason grew up with a dislike of French people.
No, I love the French and their baguettes.
Mm-hmm.
They gave us the Statue of Liberty.
Yes, and they have very good wine. I will give them that.
Yeah, everything else is pretty gross, though. You ever eaten duck?
I love duck.
Do you really? That shit's nasty.
Like, are you talking frogua or are you talking like actual duck? Well, duck frogua is duck liver.
Oh, I haven't eaten that.
Or duck fat.
I've eaten duck. Like, I went to a French restaurant in France.
Like duck confit?
Yeah.
That just means cooked in oil.
Okay, well, I ate that, and it was
Or
gamey.
cooked in fat, essentially, is what confit means.
It was gamey. I didn't like it. I thought it was gross. Like, the
I
texture
love
was
duck.
nasty. Like, I went to, like, bite into it, and I was like...
But you also don't like dark meat,
like
turkey or chicken, right?
It's like a mouthful of Big League Chew. It's like, ew.
Okay, maybe you just had it cooked very incorrectly because
I
I
was in France.
love duck. I don't know. I love duck confit. It's really good.
I think it's too gamey. You're back at the restaurant. Okay.
Yeah, we were trying to sell a bottle of champagne to the Monopoly guy.
So you've sold the bottle to, we'll call him Mr. Big Bucks.
Well, yeah, that's where I was going is Dom
Yeah.
Perignon. Like, we have one of the few bottles of a certain vintage in the area.
Okay.
We have the last one.
Really?
Mhm.
So how much is it?
About 1,700.
That's crazy. Are you serious that it's not like a thing? You can't buy it anymore?
I'm almost positive.
What?
Yeah, I've looked. I have not been able to find it through our distributors. It's no longer
That's like
a thing.
that's like the classic champagne, right? That's like the champagne.
Cristal, one
Dom
could argue.
Perignon.
But Dom Perignon, it's like the highest.
It's like the OG.
So what my idea, like my thought process on why they're doing what they're doing is they're going to discontinue it until we run out of all of the bottles.
So
and
they
then
can
they're
hike
just
the
going
prices.
to they're just going to start up again and keep the prices at what they were at
Strategy.
the certain vintage.
That's good
That's what I'm thinking they're going to do.
All right. So Mr. Big Bucks, you've sold him this bottle of Dom Perignon.
Right.
Where are we now after the selling of the bottle? What part?
Well,
comes
it
next?
really depends. Did he already order his entree? Or
Would
does he
you-
already have an idea of what his entree will be?
Sure. He's like,
Because if you order Dom Perignon, you have to be very specific. Either you finish that bottle during the first courses and then you order a different bottle for your entree, or you pair your entree with that bottle.
So he says,
because he has to know what the he's doing if he orders Dom Perignon.
Yeah, he's gonna say, "I'd like chicken fingers and the smiley face fries."
Oh, very good pairing, sir. Very good.
A man of taste.
Would you like another bottle?
But what would they usually eat? Like if somebody orders champagne, what are they usually eating?
Fish.
Really?
Fish is usually what you pair a sparkling wine with.
Gross.
Yeah.
Yeah, fish is nasty. That's a
I'm not a big fish person. You could also pair it with chicken.
Chicken.
It's not the best pairing, but you can.
Chicken of the sea. Fish. See?
Let's see what you did there.
Classy guy over here.
Yeah, right? Real big brain energy over this way.
Yeah, see, that's why I'm saying I would never work. I would not work well.
Oh, you could learn it easy.
I don't know, man.
Well, actually, I know you because I know you.
Yeah.
You could learn it easy.
What kind of glass are you serving a champagne in?
Always a champagne flute.
It's a flute. Do you have the ones that have like the ribs or rivets at the bottom of the flute so that have you seen those?
Yeah, all of them.
The bubbles.
All of them should,
Yeah.
I should say.
So the bubbles
Because
go
there's
centrally,
always,
right?
there's that little lip, like there's the stem at the bottom, and then just about a centimeter up, there's that little lip, and then
So
the
that
rest of the flute.
Bubbles go in the middle of the drink instead
Yeah.
of like all over the place.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's how all champagne flutes should be.
Did you know that back in the day, here's something else I learned in that regard. They used to drink them out of like martini glasses essentially, or
Yes.
not martini glasses.
Coupe glasses.
Yeah. And
Yes.
that it was to like shake the bubbles because I guess like,
A lot of people didn't like the bubbles.
yeah, that's nuts, dude. Like that's the whole reason to drink it. What the hell?
You
are
would think,
Yeah.
you would think if you just want a white wine, just drink a white
It's
wine.
like asking for
but-
sparkling water and being like,
Or asking for a Coke, shake
Yeah.
it up real quick and spray it all over. All right, that's about the
Sorry,
right
I just
level
don't
for me. I just like flat Coke.
yeah, why are you doing that?
I don't understand, but I know what you're talking. Yeah, it was traditionally served in coupe glasses.
But I guess the coupe is the story is that it was Marie Antoinette's titty, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's cool.
You are correct.
That's awesome.
Fun fact, just a real quick aside about Moscow mules. Did you know the story behind why they use the copper mugs?
No, you know what? And the first time I saw that was whenever I went to Jersey and someone ordered a Moscow Mule and they were drinking out of a copper mug, and I was like,
Yeah.
what?
So that's derivative of in the LA scene in like 1920s, 1930s. Who? What's the dude's name?
You don't gotta say names. You can just say that dude.
Well, he was an actor. He was known for not Andy Warhol, but it's in that realm.
Oh, like
Andy,
like the
but big
artsy-
glasses, like curly hair. Anyway, he was an actor, and he was sponsoring the Cock and Bull, which is a bar in LA. I know. And they had... We're just going to jump right past that. That's an actual bar in LA. That's its name, the Cock and Bull.
He said cock and bull.
But they had a plethora of Smirnoff vodka, ginger beer, and lime juice.
Mhm.
They didn't know what the to do with it.
Yeah.
So they and the actor that sponsored this bar, his wife had a share in copper glass, quote unquote glassware.
Okay.
And so they ended up marketing the Moscow Mule with the copper glassware, vodka, lime juice, ginger beer.
Oh.
And that's what started the Moscow Mule, which then led to the Kentucky Mule, the Irish Mule, the Mexican Mule, the London Mule.
What's a Kentucky Mule?
Bourbon.
Oh, it's just the same thing with
It's
the cop. Okay.
it's all the same thing, but with different spirits.
So you're using like tequila for the Mexican one, or like
Yeah.
bourbon for okay.
And then London, you do gin.
Yeah, because that's all they drink.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's derivative of London.
That's wild. You ever think about that? Have you ever seen that meme that English people conquered all these places for spices and don't use them in any of their food or whatever?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Yeah, that's what that reminds
Which
you.
is, yeah, very, very indicative.
Oh, yes. I'll have an unseasoned chicken, a piece of kale.
And gin.
That's why everyone's so upset over there, all doing this at each other. I did the, what's it called? Winston Churchill does it in like a picture. It's him going like that, and it looks like he's telling people to bugger off. Is what it is. Yeah.
Was it with his cigar?
No. He's like, because he thought it was like a peace sign.
Oh,
He
but
saw
he,
peace.
but he did it. He did it like
Yeah, and
very.
he was so high class that he thought it was like peace, but it's him just.
It's just him scissoring
Yeah,
an imaginary
exactly.
thing.
Yeah, it's like it's. I guess it's
Totally classy.
I guess it's f- off is what it means. It's like
Huh. I've never heard of that. I mean,
Yeah.
I've heard of many different ways to say "f off" with hand gestures, but we can't really get into it on this podcast.
so. Mr. Big Bucks has just quickly finished his meal of chicken tenders.
Hold on. Right.
Smiley face.
Oh,
fries.
I'm pushing more than one course out of that man.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because he's a big boy.
Well, he's got money.
Yeah.
Is my thing. I don't care if you order the chicken tenders or not. You order Dom Perignon. You're ordering a salad. You're ordering another entree or
What do you
app.
recommend as like a second entree? Well, not for
Not
chicken
second
fingers and shit,
entree.
or like whatever. You know what I mean? Like what else are you trying to push on this dude?
Whatever my favorite is on the menu that day, that week.
You walk up, you're like, Mr. Big Bucks, I see you finished your chicken tenders.
Or like, yeah, I just play around with like
He's
if
like, I'd like eating the bottom half of the smiley face fries because it looks like
I
they're
will
staring at me.
I will bring you all. I will bring you all of those. But like let's say with like the young couple, I actually had a young couple order escargot, not knowing what escargot was.
No, did you explain to them what escargot was?
No, because I also don't want to insult them by explaining to them what they just ordered.
Just a heads up, those are snails.
But
What was that?
no, but apparently she had a shellfish allergy.
Oh well, yeah. That's
So
not,
I should have said
that's what
something
you should
as
have
a
said.
good
You should have
server,
said,
but
you know what you should do? Add this to your thing. Are there any food allergies that
I
we
should-
should be
yeah.
aware of?
I should do that. I also
Because then
feel
if dipshit goes and like some snail, please, you can be like,
I also feel like if you have an allergy, it's kind of on you to tell me that. No, stay with me here. Because let's say you have a nut allergy.
if she
all
dies,
right?
she dies.
Let's say she has a nut allergy.
Hopefully not.
She should say something when ordering, not because like it would be any cross contamination, but just in case it's cooked close to something
To
that
the
is
nuts.
also. You should have to tell me that. Same with shellfish allergies.
See, that's crazy to me because like that was one of the first thing that I've like experienced when I went to Colorado. I had our server ask us beforehand. She was like, "Are there any food allergies that I should be aware of?" And it was the first time it's ever happened.
I should do that. I should. That's proper etiquette.
Add that to the
But-
fine dining experience. Yeah. So imagine Mr. Big Bucks is allergic to, shellfish, and you guys are cooking the chicken tenders
In the same oil.
in the same
you
oil
would
as your escargot.
fried shrimp.
Yeah.
Or no, our escargot's baked. But yes.
Okay.
I see what you're coming from.
But yeah, you tell him that, and then he's
Yes, but I
takes
also
one
feel
bite
it
of that
should be
chicken finger.
you as the person with the allergy to tell me that.
like, okay, but your whole thing is
I
you're
can't
trying to get a tip.
predict.
You're trying to get a tip, and now you've killed your customer.
Yeah, bad tip. But it should still be on them to tell me that.
as they're getting carted out. So
Why didn't you tell me that you had a shellfish allergy?
as they're getting carted out.
Amanda,
So not to be rude or anything, but
can you sign the ticket real quick?
there is a 25%
20.
gratuity.
Yeah. You can choose 15, 20, or 25. I did pretty well,
My husband,
all things considered.
Mr. Big Bucks, he's got
Yeah, at least the 15.
slain by the chicken finger. I always knew it would happen this way. That's crazy.
You're right, Juan. I should include that.
Has
You're
anyone
right.
ever choked?
No,
No?
thankfully. Knock on wood
Yeah.
right now.
Sorry, I just gave you straight negative energy.
No, thankfully no one has choked.
I had a dude have a seizure at my job one time.
Oh, I bet that was fun.
Not like in my shop, which
Oh,
is
that's
why
even worse because
yeah.
what do you do?
Well, they went outside.
Yeah, but what do you do? That's
Yeah.
not technically no longer your
Yeah.
problem, but
Well, I mean, I'm
they're
not,
still
yeah.
dying. It's like you're not like you're gonna not do anything.
Damn, he's on the floor.
But that's liability at that point.
Well, I
Like,
guess,
you have
like-
to consider that.
Yeah, one of my coworkers looked out and he was like, "Why is he laying under his truck?" He's like, "Is it not starting?"
Is he just twitching there?
Well, no, he thought
What's going on with him?
he thought maybe his truck's not starting, so he opened the door and he looked out and like he was like, "You all right, sir?" And like he didn't respond, so he was like, "Oh man." So he ran over and he came back in and he was like, this guy's having a seizure. And we're like, so we called 911, right?
Good.
And then like we walked up and we're like, we didn't know what to do because, dude's like having a seizure. So we're like, oh, shit, So I think we like tried to put like a wallet in his mouth so he wouldn't swallow his tongue or something like that, right? Like that's the thing.
That's an old urban legend, yeah.
And so like, but the thing was, it's not funny, but what the thing was is that he got up and then like he didn't recognize us, so he like just swung at like the person who was trying to help him, and it clocked that person in the face. And like I remember my other coworker being like kind of posting up,
I can't
really, no, you
hit
can't
him.
hit him, yeah,
But I want to hit him.
yeah. Then we got like calmed down, like they showed up and they're like, let's get him out of here. And we're like, all right, cool. And he was fine. Yeah,
that sounds like a fun day, dude.
It was nuts. Yeah, it was like the most exciting thing that's happened in a long time.
Yeah, I don't really have any stories like that.
That's crazy. You would think in the service industry, especially considering, like with a bar being around here or something, you'd have like a nutty.
Yeah, you get
the
a
usual,
little rowdy, but
yeah.
Mostly, especially in our establishment, I think they kind of feel guilty anytime that they do lash out a little bit. They're just like,
I thought you were gonna say guilty for having a seizure. I'm like,
I meant
it's not really your fault.
No,
I'm so sorry I had a seizure at your establishment.
I'm so sorry, sir. I didn't mean to convulse over your dining room.
It's okay, Mr. Big Bucks. How about another bottle of Dom Perignon?
That'll help you.
So now that the meal's over, how do you politely ask for a tip?
Oh, you don't. I don't.
Like you don't like say something like to kind of like convey like, oh hey, they did kind of a good job.
Nope.
That's crazy.
I
would.
I don't. I always
I'd put the check. I'd put the check down and like kind of start tapping where the tips at and be like, hey, just heads up.
That's the goal.
That's there. Yeah.
No, I legitimately don't do that. That's me.
I prefer places where they just give me the gratuity like pre-put on the check. I like that a lot more.
Now, see, we do that, but with the way my business runs, like you get, like it gets printed out at the bottom of the receipt, but then you also get like places to put room charge because I work at a hotel.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't really do that because then they're just going to fill out the bottom, not give you a card or a room charge card or anything that would qualify as payment.
Yeah.
And they just fill it out and leave it there because
dude, that's nice,
they're
though.
so... No.
I mean, it's nice that you can put a credit card like towards the whole stay so that like whenever I go to...
No, that's really cool.
Yeah, so when I go to the bar, I don't have to think about the fact that I just spent $60.
Yeah, you just say put it on the room and it's all together. I get that. What doesn't work with people that are a little more mature, they don't realize that they have not given me any kind of payment. They have not told me what room they stay in or what the name attached with the room is.
They just say,
or any credit card.
Put it on the room.
No, they just sign it. They don't even tell me anything. They sign it and then leave it and walk away.
So then you got to kind of like chase them down.
So yeah, then I need to figure out are they staying here? Maybe it's just a random person that came in.
What room are you staying in?
Like maybe they're not even staying there. Therefore I cannot charge them at all.
Just knocking door to door.
That's why I have to cut that whole bottom part off and deliver it and tell them like, no, you need to give me something. You have to. Yeah. You can give me the little room charge card. You can give me your credit card.
It's not about waking
you
up.
can give me cash.
You
just have to give me something.
You're standing at the end of the bed.
Sir, I have not been paid for last night's
you don't
dinner.
You don't say anything. You're just staring at them, looking at them sleep, and they wake up and they're like, "Oh,
sorry, sir. There you go. That should cover it. That's
money.
$2. That's $2.
Buy yourself something nice." All right, man. Well, we appreciate you guys listening to our fine dining etiquette episode of the podcast. Now, I wish you've learned just a little bit more.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, we have an expert with us, I'm not an expert in anything like that,
I'm not an expert. I'm okay. I'm Southwestern fine etiquette. I'll put it that way.
Which is like a 1 star in a big city.
Yeah. I go to New York, I am. Let's put it that way.
Excuse me, sir. You looked me in the eyes.
You shouldn't do that. I'm sorry.
I'm still learning. I'm so sorry. It's fine. Come here.
Thank you.
Tastes like chocolate. I'm allergic to chocolate. Anyways,
I'm Richard.
I'm Juan. Thanks for listening to the podcast. We appreciate you guys.
Please rate, subscribe, all that good shit.
Leave a review.
Please. We really depend on it. It helps with our algorithm. It helps with us reaching more people like you that just want to be entertained for
viewers
a little bit.
like you.
I'm Richard.
I'm Juan.
Shoot from the hip.